Ahoy hoy everyone, welcome to another spooky episode of the O Show. I'm here for your amusement. Alright you guys, so today's episode we are going to talk about a movie that did not age well at all after all these years. I didn't think it aged well when it came out. After about a month, I think people should have been like, what the hell is this crap? But you know what? I will admit, I watched a lot in the 80s. This is the 1981 movie, The Devil and Max Devlin, okay? And the only reason I knew about this movie is because it used to come on ABC back in the 80s. A lot. It's so funny how many movies used to come on TV and just had like a rotation, because you don't see that stuff anymore unless it's like a yearly event, right? Like with the 10 Commandments, you know it's going to come on every year. But yeah, this movie used to be on TV all the time, and now it makes sense why it was always on Channel 7, because it's a Disney movie. Disney used to make some crazy ass movies and try to get away with things. It's craziness, you guys. So, The Devil and Max Devlin, yes. And also, not only was it just a crappy movie that I used to watch all the time, but I think the main reason that I watched the movie is because it stars Bill Cosby. So I mentioned this before in my review of Ghost Dad. Like, you know, Bill Cosby was America's dad. So it was just like, especially when you're a little kid, you know who the man is. You're like, well, I'm going to watch everything he does because he's so awesome and cool. But what, y'all, he is like literally the devil in this movie. Like, literally. I will gladly save that to the end, because that is when you see his true form. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you gotta sit through the review. Okay, but look, let's talk about this movie. The movie not only stars Bill Cosby, but it also really stars Elliot Gould, right? So he plays Max Devlin, and Max is a slumlord, pretty much. He owns an apartment building. All these tenants have like all these problems that they need fixed, but he is acting as like, I don't know, like the building manager, like, you know, come to me with issues and I'll see if I can get stuff fixed or whatever. But he always says like, well, if you have an issue with that, take it up with the owner, But no one ever knew who the owner was. So he lets these people in one morning and he's like, okay, just one by one, you know, but they're all like talking over each other. But there's this woman who I guess he's messing with, and I guess he must have told her that he's the owner. So that when he says his line of take it up with the owner, she's like, but he is the owner. And then now that I guess his secret is out, I guess he tries to run away. Like, dude, you live there. Like, how far do you think you're gonna go? But he ends up trying to run away. But then at the same time, he sees this man who owes him rent. So he's like, hey, so-and-so, like, I'm still waiting. You owe me like 2 months rent. So now this guy is running away. He's running after the dude. And they make it out into the street. And there is this old blind lady with a cane who's like, hello, can someone help me across the street? And then she trips him and his ass goes flying under a bus. And he dies. I mean, this is so much happening in the first like 5 minutes of this movie. So Max Devlin is now dead under a bus full of like, what are these people called? Like, are they monks? I don't know what they are, but anyway, he goes to hell. Like, literally, they're showing this man descend into hell with like the worst special effects ever. I don't know if I like really cared back then when I used to watch this movie, but watching it now, these effects are so bad. I don't even remember these eyeballs over here, but what the hell is that? It's so creepy. So now this is where we meet Bill Cosby's character. He plays a man named Barney Satin, right? And I guess he's like a henchman of the devil. They show what I guess is supposed to be the devil. Like, they never make it really clear, but there's some guy with an accent and you're like, why is this guy the devil? But anyway, Barney's doing all the talking. So he's like, look, they go through a list of all the stuff that Max has done through his life. And they're like, yeah, you're fucking evil. But they're like, you know what? And I don't know why. I don't remember if they even said why. But they're like, look, we'll send you back to Earth. But what you have to do for us is get us 3 pure souls, right? So Max is like, well, I know this like crazy crooked man here. And I know this asshole here. They're like, no. We're going to tell you who we want. But they have to be like pure souls, right? And they end up being like the souls of these children. But not like children. Although one is actually literally a child. But there's 3. So anyway, before I get into the people, that's the deal. He's like, I'm going to give you powers. Like, you can use the powers to do whatever you want, but I'm going to give you a deadline. I don't remember the date. But you have a deadline, and what you need to do is literally have these kids sell their soul to you. Meaning, they have to sign contracts. You have to, like, Max has to say, like, are you willing to give up your soul? Are you willing to sell your soul? Well, then sign this contract. And then if he gets them all to do that, their souls will be property of hell, and he can just continue living his days. I guess until he dies, and then he's gonna go to hell anyway. But anyway, all right. So now the people, right? So we have the first victim is this girl named Stella Summer, and or is it Summers? Anyway, her name is Stella. Now, I guess if you, read the movie, like what the movie's about, the plot, they say that she's like a high school dropout, but they really don't say that. Like, she has this friend who's with her, this girlfriend, and not girlfriend, but her female friend. And so, the girl is there with her, but then throughout the movie, sometimes she's like, I wish my friend was here, and people are like, well, where is she? She goes, well, her mom would let her come. Her parents would let her come. And really it's because they're really super young. So they never really say how old Stella is. But when you look at her, she's like in her early 20s. So she should have already graduated high school. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I remember as a kid, I used to just be like, what? How old is this lady? She's obviously older than me. Like, so I don't know why they keep saying she's a kid. I don't know. Anyway, Stella's thing is that she wants to be this famous singer. So one night she goes to some, I don't know, open mic night or something. And then she sees that there is like a record executive in the audience. And when she goes out to sing, she sucks. She's shy, she's scared, and she just sings awful, right? Now, one of the magical powers that Barney gave to Max is that he can, one, teleport. So if he needs to say, oh, I need to be across town right now, if he thinks about it, he can actually go somewhere and just pop up and appear. And number 2, whenever he's near someone, I guess he gives them like good luck or brings good luck or just makes them do things that they weren't able to do. So in Stella's case, since she was not singing good, when all of a sudden he appears, she sings beautifully and the whole place is like, holy shit. She has a nice voice. Stella is played by an actress named Julie Budd, and you know what? I guess I forgot to look her up because I still to this day do not know if she's like a real singer. She sings okay in the movie, but as far as like a professional singer, I don't think she's all that great. But I will say though, there's 2 main songs that she sings in this movie. There's one that she sings at the beginning of this, and then throughout the movie, you just keep hearing the same song over and over again. And then in the end, she sings another song. But I will say, like me, like I used to sing in choir in school and whatever. And I mean, I was okay. Like I used to like do karaoke contests and win certain ones, not all of them, but I did okay. But I will say, I do kind of credit this movie as far as like certain notes, because I used to sing to the top of my lungs watching this movie. Every time Stella sang, I sang. And I didn't have like, I don't know if there was ever a movie soundtrack to this movie, but I had this recorded on VHS, so I would just record it or watch it all the time. I would just sing and sing and sing. So I still to this day know every word to every every song in this movie. Again, it's only 2 songs, but yeah. I just really love singing the song, and then I used to sing it out in public, and no one would know what I'm singing. So the second victim that Max has to get their signature on a contract is now he's actually a teenager. They show him in high school and everything. So his name is Nerve Nordlinger, the worst name ever. So he's played by this actor named David Nell, and so his thing is that he wants to be like a dirt bike rider, and he's the nerd, like literal nerd. And he's trying to like talk to these like, I don't even know, like I guess dudes that ride motorbikes. I don't know. He's just like, he's annoying. So all of a sudden Max comes around the corner with this car that says like he's this dirt motorbike instructor. Like, ooh, right place at the right time, huh? Now you guys remember this movie came out like in 81. So I want to say it was maybe around 86 or something. When I was in school, they were trying to teach us like Stranger Danger. So I don't think Stranger Danger was a thing back in 81, because another reason this movie just did not age well. Like, this guy was like, hey, you want to be my student? Yeah, I'll get in the car right now. This is super how people get kidnapped nowadays. Oh, you're going to teach me how to ride a motorbike? Okay, I'll get in your car. Okay. So anyway, he takes this guy out to the desert. Again, creepy as hell. So he goes out to the desert. He has his old ass bike. And so he lets the kid ride on it. And of course, now that he's with him, the kid is riding fine. But he then is reminded that by Bill Cosby, who shows up on a motorcycle, knowing it's not him driving the motorcycle, but so Barney shows up and he goes, oh yeah, let me remind you that the person, you guys have to be in sight of each other. If he gets out of sight of your sight, the powers are not going to work. So sure enough, this kid goes like over a hill and then he crashes because he's out of Barney's sight. So that is a thing. The last person that has to sign a contract is a little boy named Toby Hart. Like legit a little boy. He's played by Adam Rich. And I mean, I don't know if people today would recognize him, but if you grew up in the 80s, you've seen him around. He's been in a lot of movies and TV shows. He always had that damn haircut. So, now he has the most creepiest story of all. So this little boy is at a carnival and he's trying to get on a ride, but he can't because he's too small and he needs an adult. So then Max shows up and tells the ticket holder like, hey, I'm his Uncle Max. I can ride with him. So of course the kid is like, oh, well, thank you. So they go on the ride, they get off the ride, and now the kid is like, okay, thank you, sir, bye. And Max is like, come on, let's get to know each other. Like, I want to know about you. You can learn about me. It's so creepy.
Well, I'll see you, Uncle Max. Thanks again.
What do you mean you see me? I thought you were having such a great time.
Well, I am. But I ran out of money, so...
What are you worried about? I got plenty of money. The next one's on me.
Really?
Sure. I figured we'd spend some time together, get to know one another. I'll find out the kind of things you like. You'll find out the kind of things I like.
So then not only do they spend the day at the carnival, this little boy lets this guy walk home with him. So now he knows where he lives. And he's just telling him all about his mom and all their business. And then his mom runs a daycare center. So then we meet his mom, who's in the backyard with all these kids. And then Max comes into the backyard and the little boy goes into the house with the mom like, hey mom, I brought this man home to you. He's not a serial killer or anything. You guys, I'm gonna tell this story to you like one time and probably one time only. There, like, so again, I used to learn Stranger Danger back in the 80s, and then I actually got in trouble. Not just me, it was like me and a whole bunch of kids in my class when this man on the outside fence of our school was walking down the street with an iguana on his shoulder, right? So all of us kids are like, oh my God, there's a man walking down the street with an iguana. So we all rushed to the fence to like say hi and can we pet your iguana and stuff like that. And then there was this kid who was literally just taking names. He was a total snitch. And I remember seeing him too, like, oh, I think he's taking people's names, because he went right to our teacher and told her who all was at this fence. And then I didn't know if she was gonna remember everyone's names, but apparently she remembered mine because she called my parents, and I got my ass whooped. So I was like, okay, Orpheus, stop talking to strangers. And why did this man one day, it was me and two other boys playing in the playground of our apartment building, and this man walks up to us and he's eating a cheeseburger, right? And he goes, he's just like, how you guys doing? We're like, hey. And I'm thinking like, oh man, is this a trick? And so he strikes up a conversation with us. And so I guess we were like, well, damn, I guess we've already answered him back. It'd probably be rude for us to leave or something. I don't know. But this man was like, man, this is like the best cheeseburger ever. And then I didn't say this. Some other kid was like, oh, what are you eating? Where'd you get it from? He's like, oh, right over there. It has this and this. And I guess he put mayonnaise on it. But look at y'all. This man was like, y'all want a bite of my cheeseburger? Now I'm thinking like, this is a trick, right? This other kid, he goes, sure. So then he takes a bite of the cheeseburger. And then the other one took a bite of the cheeseburger. So now I'm like, peer pressure. I guess I'll have a bite of the cheeseburger too. Not knowing if this was like a poison cheeseburger, this guy's gonna kidnap all of us. So, I'm glad to say that I did not get kidnapped that night. But it's something that's just always been in my head after all these years. Like, I cannot believe this man just came over, just offered his cheeseburger to three little boys that he didn't know in the playground of a building that he did not live in. All right, what were we talking about? So they leave Max alone with these kids outside, and he's playing like this little like name game with them. You can tell like which kid doesn't have any rhythm. So look, he forgets that Stella has like a recording session. So he teleports and leaves, and all of a sudden the kids are like, Uncle Max, Uncle Max, where are you? So Stella is singing her song, the one song right now, and she's done like 40 something takes. So then when Max shows up, he's like, okay, well, you guys didn't do the takes with me here. And of course, when she does the next take, she sings the song good, and that's what they release as a single. So now she's popular. She's on the Billboard charts, blah, 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 right? We fast forward to a scene where Stella's all popular. I guess she's at it's not like an industry party. They're in some weird mansion or hotel or something with a jacuzzi in the staircase. It's so weird. But you guys, look at Bill Cosby dancing.
And what percentage of the six-figure deal is lucky little Maxie going to get?
Around the house.
So,
And they don't even own a TV.
So stupid. So he's just pretty much saying like, okay, a little time has gone by. Like, you should probably get this girl to sign a contract, blah, 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 blah. So it's just him just being pushy to be like, okay, don't forget, like, they still have to sign. And this guy was like, well, okay, well, hold on. I'm trying to earn these kids' trust. Like, calm the fuck down. So the story with Nerve, oh my God, why is his name so stupid? So the story with him is just like, he starts winning these races. He's getting more and more popular. And again, he used to be the nerd, but now everyone's like, ooh, Nerve, ooh, you're so cool. That's happening. He's getting close to Toby's mom, which seems to just be happening in like 2 days. Like one day she comes home and he just buys her like all this equipment for her backyard for the daycare and like put new grass down. Fake grass. Or is it real grass? I don't know, but it's new grass. And slowly this lady's just like, oh, he's so nice. You didn't have to do that. This lady, you can tell this is a Disney movie because this lady is falling for this man. It's been like 3 days. He bought her all this stuff and she's now falling in love with him. It's just craziness. They're kissing in front of the fireplace and everything. Okay, Disney princess. Then we fast forward to Max still on like Toby's ass. Like, oh, come on, man. I could be your father. I'm going to marry your mother. And if I marry your mother, then you can give me your baseball cards and your bubble gum. We'll do a trade. Like, you give me all this stuff, and then I'll give you happiness when I marry your mother. Like, it's so fucking creepy. Y'all, do y'all remember in Disney's Three Little Pigs, in the original racist version, because they had to clean it up. In the racist version, the big bad wolf dresses up as like this Jewish peddler selling brushes or something. They had to take him out and like replace him with something. Like, it was so stereotypical of like Jewish people apparently. But like, the same thing kind of happens in this movie. So, you know, Stella's like weary of signing something because she's like, well, you're already my manager. You're already getting like this percent. Like, what else do you need me to sign for you? You know? So Max tricks her by showing up at this like award show, red carpet. Like, she gets out of the car, she's walking, and she's signing autographs and stuff. So this fool dresses up as like the big bad wolf racist character. And he gives her something and she signs it, right? But then once she signs it, you hear like this bell, you know, like, ooh, she signed it, her soul is gone. And then her attitude changes and she gets all pissy and she's telling people to get away from me. You know, so she gets all crazy with her attitude. And then the same thing kind of happens with Nerve. Like, he's at another motorbike race contest thing, and then he keeps trying to get him to sign it. He's like, I'm not gonna sign this till you spell things right. Like, you keep writing soul, S-O-U-L, but it should be S-O-L-E, you know, that. And Max is like, God damn it, like, I'll fix it later, just sign it. So he keeps pushing it. He finally gets Nerve to sign this thing. And the same thing happens to him. And then his attitude changes and he gets all pissy and mean and stuff like that. And then when it comes to the damn Disney princess, her wedding finally comes. So she ends up marrying this man. I swear it's been like 3 days. But, you know, it's been more. Like, I guess time has been going. But when you watch the movie, it just seems like this is all happening like within a week. So, they get married. It's like the most bougiest wedding. Like, it's so sad and cheap. But look at y'all. They get married. And as soon as they get married, he has Toby sign his contract. And then Toby's attitude gets pissy and crazy. So now that he has all three signature, Barney shows up. Barney reveals to him, like, okay, well, now that I have their signatures, they're all gonna die tonight at midnight. And I guess the original plan was for them to still live their lives and they just die later. But when they die, they go to hell. And Barney's like, oh yeah, that's right. Well, I lied. So Max, after he did all this bullshit, now learns a lesson. So now that Max hears that all of the kids are going to die at midnight that day, he then gets the conscience and goes, oh man, I messed up. Like, I don't want them to die. They're such good kids. Even though you just fucking gave their soul to the devil. So, for your soul back, but you know, the devil lies. Okay, so now Barney's pissed off and Barney's threatening to now take the contracts and burn them. And this is when we see Bill Cosby's real form.
When they burn your contracts.
Burn those contracts, and eternal damnation is yours. You'll know the unmitigating pain and horror of limbs being torn from their sockets.
Max thinks now that since he's burned these contracts, he's like, well, shit, I might be the one dying at midnight tonight. So he starts going around the city and he meets up with Stella. He's like, I'm going to go away for a while. Like, I'm not going to be here for you to sing. And she has like a concert that night and whatever. He does the same thing with Nerve. He's like, hey man, like, it's been great, but I have to go and leave and blah, 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 and whatever. And then he's going to go back home to talk to, what's her name? Penny? I don't remember the mom's name, but Toby's mom, and say goodbye to Toby. And Toby already has a sad story that like every man that his mom is with leaves and goes away. So he's never had a real father. Oh, I'm sorry. Aren't you like 6? Like, this boy is so young. Like, calm the fuck down. Yeah, Max is talking to the wife and now he looks into the mirror and sees his reflection. So I didn't say this before, but earlier in the movie when he comes back from hell, he's literally on the ground dead. with the paramedics around him, and then he just wakes up and just walks away, right? So everyone thinks he's a miracle. And he goes to this restaurant, and then Cosby's in there, who is always in these disguises, right? Like, he's in the restaurant as a construction worker, like, but no one can see him. So why are you always playing like village people in this movie? He's always in a disguise. So that's what he's telling Max, like, people can't see me. And then Max realizes that, yeah, your soul is going to be gone. So his reflection is not in any mirrors, which doesn't make sense, because people can see him in real life, but it's never clear if no one else can see his reflection. But I guess it's only him that can't see his reflection, because no one else ever freaks out when his reflection doesn't show up in a mirror. So that's weird. Maybe we weren't supposed to notice that or question it. I don't know. But he realizes that his reflection is in the mirror, and he says, oh my God, like, I beat him. And his wife's like, what? Who you beat? Who? He's like, Barney. I beat Barney. Like, he had my soul, but now I got it back because I can see myself in the mirror. So now that Max has his soul back, he's like, come on, y'all, let's go to a concert. So him, the wife, and Toby go to Stella's concert, and sitting in like near the front row is Nerve, because Nerve, you know, is all popular now. So he has like a girl with him and stuff. And Stella dedicates the song to him, like, hey, you know, he said I couldn't do this, but here I am. And she starts singing Roses and Rainbows, which is like the most corniest song, but I used to love this song.
If someone says they'll bring you roses and rainbows, you better take a look again.
But yeah, she sings a song, and somehow she can see this man all the way in the back of the auditorium, but who cares? I'm not even gonna go there, because if you're on stage with like all these lights shining in your face, you should not be able to see this man who walked through this back door. Maybe the lighting was different in the 80s, okay? But anyway, that's how the movie ends. He looks up to the sky and says thank you to the heavens for letting him, I guess, have a second chance at life or something. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, the movie's over, you guys. That is the Devil and Max Devlin. It's so bad. I like how the moral of the story is that if you ever make a deal with the devil, just burn the contract. That's it. Just burn it. And he just threw it in the fire. There was like no demons chasing after him. There was no like chase around hell. Bill Cosby didn't throw a pitchfork at him. He was just like, no, you can't have these kids. Fling, right into the fire, and then that was it. Bill Cosby didn't explode. He just lost. I don't know, it's so stupid. But you know what's so funny, you guys? And I used to wonder this as a kid too, and I guess watching it now as an adult, it makes more sense to me now. Because throughout the movie, Max he's always walking around with like toilet paper attached to his face with red spots in it, right? And so I learned as a kid, I'm like, okay, he must be shaving and cutting, because I don't know if it was The Simpsons. I think there was an episode of The Simpsons early Simpsons, when Homer is shaving and he's teaching Bart to shave, and he goes, this is now when you put the tissue paper on your face to cover your cuts, right? So, okay, I started putting that together. I was like, okay, he's always just cutting himself. He just walks around with it on his face all day long. And sometimes you see it and sometimes you don't. And now when I rewatched this movie recently, I finally realized, since this man cannot see his reflection after he died, I think he's still trying to shave, and now he's cutting himself, which is why he's putting the tissues on his face. And then later in the movie, when he's getting cozy with the soon-to-be wife, she drops him off somewhere, and she goes, hey, I have a present for you. And then she gives him like an electric razor. And he even sits there going, ooh, thank you. And then I think after that, you don't see his face covered with the tissue paper anymore. I don't think I realized that as a kid. But now that I watch it, that's actually kind of funny. Okay, Disney, I saw what you did there. That was actually kind of clever. But other than that, you can take this movie and go to hell because it's stupid. Oh my god! So you guys, that was The Devil and Max Devlin. I did mention the movie is stupid, right? Just like I was talking about Dolly Dearest, this is another movie that is really hard to find. You just can't look it up and be like, oh, order. What am I going to rate The Devil and Max Devlin? Especially now with Bill Cosby shaming himself. Shame on you, sir. This movie is getting one shot. That's it. It's gonna get one because I can't say it enough. It's so bad. All right, so let me know in the comments below if you ever seen The Devil and Max Devlin. If you have, do you remember this crap? Did you watch Bill Cosby movies just because he was Bill Cosby? Except that damn Leonard Six. I was trying to watch the movie one day and I was like, I can't watch this crap. And this is before I knew there was no Leonard 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. He just made Leonard 6. It's the worst movie ever. All right, you guys. So, cheers. Oh, gosh. Oh my god. Okay. Alright, y'all. So that was my review of Devil. What's it called? The Devil and Max Devlin. Oh my gosh. Alright, y'all. So please like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm gonna go throw up. But I will see y'all in the next spooky episode. So alright, so until then, TTFN.
You'll feel pain you never imagined in life. Yours forever. Flesh you'll smell burning. Your flesh rotting.